Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors and Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up. Got Blair Morgan on the phone waiting to give a report. Got Stan Kirkland here in the studio with all kind of information. But first, let's get started with our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. Corner of Baldwin Road and Highway 77. High today. It's going to be warm now. It's been warm all week and continues today with a 91. Low tonight 74. And the water temperature stays around 85 degrees. All right, take a look at our river readings. The Apalachicola River is still in good shape. In fact, it's going to drop out a little bit. We're looking at a 7.5 there. And then the Choctawhatchee at Caryville. We're looking at a good weekend for river readings at a 6.9. Looking good there. Both of them are going to be in good shape for the weekend. Okay, our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Their motto is "We're carrying counts." And today is September the 12th. Thursday, September 12th. Good strong tides. We're looking at a high tide this morning at 2:36 and low tide at 2:10. So we got a good situation right there. We got about a 1.8 foot range on it. So and this weekend, you want to look ahead for this weekend. Looks really good on that. Okay. Now once a week, usually on Thursday, sometimes on Wednesday, we like to call down on the eastern end of our viewing area, get a fishing report, an outdoor report from Captain Blair Morgan, and sponsored by Blue Water Outriggers. Good morning, Blair.
Good morning, Winston. How you doing?
Hey, we're doing great up here. What's going on down your way?
Tell you what, the weather's been beautiful for a change, and the wind hasn't been blowing much, sun's been shining, and of course most of the tourists have gone, but there's people out here in the bay now that start to catch trout again, being that a lot of the scalpers are gone.
Yeah.
And and as far as scalping, I tell you, it's kind of hit and miss. I have some friends that came down here and spent a week, and they just had a real problem finding them. But then, you know, you talk to somebody else, they go to somewhere where nobody's been, they just load up with them.
That's right.
You just got to try to find a place nobody's been. But something real interesting this week, too, there was a lot of covey on the buoy line off of Mexico Beach. One guy went out there one day and caught 3, actually. And the kings are out there as well. The water's clearing up real good now. And I know there's a lot of people this time of year like to catch mullet. Over here at the Lighthouse Point, it's just loaded up with mullet. I guess they're migrating by the point. But people getting all the mullet they want. Seems like the triple tail and tarpon are kind of gone for the year now.
Okay.
What's going on with them?
Okay, so what's the word on the redfish?
Redfish bite in the Apalachicola Bay is really good around the mouths of the creeks and oyster bars. Haven't really heard too much about it here in the St. Joe Bay. But the flounder bite out here is still real good. Catch a lot of flounder around the mouth of the canal down there.
Okay. Well, that sounds good, Blair. Sounds real good.
Yeah, it's heat. You know, fishing is getting good again.
All right. Thank you so much for that report, buddy.
All right, have a good one.
All right, we'll see you. That's Captain Blair Morgan for Blue Water Outriggers down in Port St. Joe. Let's take our break and we'll be right back. Welcome back and welcome Lieutenant Stan Kirkland.
Good morning, Winston. Good morning.
Always glad to have Stan here. So much information also to pass on to you and so many things going on outdoors and information officer and all. So Stan, I'm going to let you get started.
Well, Winston, just to back up something Blair was saying down on St. Joe Bay, our neighbor went down the other day, excuse me, and he was telling me that they didn't have any problem finding scallops, but he said the water was a little cloudy, and he said that was the biggest thing was finding water that they could see in, and I've heard some people too that are catching spotted sea trout or speckled trout as we call them, and the people I heard about were wade fishing, and water's clearing up, and kind of odd without having about 2 inches of rain every day. So,
I know it. So that goes along with what Blair was saying. So your neighbor's doing that.
Right.
That's good to hear.
Winston, the commission, we had our bi-monthly meeting over in Pensacola. The commissioners took action on several issues, And one of those issues, or several of the issues of importance to listeners and viewers, and one of them is, and I'm going to kind of get things a little bit out of order, but on Friday, one of the things that the commissioners took action on was by unanimous vote to ban the importation of deer into Florida. And the reason they did that is because of threat of chronic wasting disease. Chronic wasting disease is a nasty disease that affects all of the cervids, which are the deer, the white-tailed deer, the mule deer, elk. Not sure if it affects prong. I don't think it affects any of your antelope species, but it does affect all of the deer family. In fact, it's even now in South Korea. It's been found in South Korea, and it's been discovered in deer in 22 states. It is not in the southeast proper. It's a disease that it's a brain degeneration disease. It's 100% fatal. And it's found in a number of northern states, midwestern states. It's even down now found in New Mexico and extreme West Texas. So the commission took this action though, and there was some opposition, and of course this has been something that our agency we've been having public meetings, meeting with the stakeholders, and mainly when I say stakeholders, I'm talking about the commercial deer farmers, the people that either have hunting operations on their property or they sell deer, and these are licensed game preserve, hunting preserves. So you're only talking about a small number of these, 300 to 400 of these, and how many were opposed, I don't know. They took a vote and among these, and it was split about as far as whether they were in support of the commission rule. But the bottom line is this is a disease that we need to keep out of the state of Florida if we can, and it was I think a good decision.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, and also one of the questions came up yesterday. Somebody called and was asking, is this disease, can people that go to the states even where they have chronic wasting disease, can people pick this up by eating the meat? And the short answer is there's no evidence right now that it can be passed to people. However, if you look at every website, every state where they have chronic wasting disease, the one thing they say is don't eat any animal that you know is infected with chronic wasting disease or any sickly animals. And of course, that's just common sense. But you know, if they do CWD test on your animal, a lot of people around here actually go to, you know, they go all over the country, and we have people in our hunter safety classes that need their certification to be able to go to mule deer hunt or deer hunt somewhere, and you know, they bring the meat back. They're not allowed from if they go to any CWD state, they're not allowed to bring back the whole animal or spinal cord or an intact head. That it has to be a skull plate or from the antlers, or it has to be boned out meat. But some of these states actually test your animals when you bring them through the check station, and they can let you know. But anyway, but that was one of the big items on the agenda on Friday.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and take this break now. We've got a lot more good information for you. Be right back. Okay, welcome back. So here with Stan Kirkland, all kind of good information. Let's finish up on the deer, then we'll get into the red snapper, okay?
Yep. Winston, this was not part of the commission action, but one thing that we've got a lot of people that are curious what happened with the commission rule, and there is a regulation that's under review, and that is to go to what we call a quality deer rule, or 3 points on a side north of the interstate, 2 points on a side on a antler side south of the interstate. That is still under review right now. The commission has not taken this up. It hasn't been passed. It's just an effort to let these deer get a little older, their antlers grow a little bit, their body size increase a little. We're also looking at the number of antlerless deer days that we have, but all of that is under review, and the commission will probably take that up for action next spring. So it'll be a while before anything is done on that. But nothing's been done yet. No vote or anything. It's still under discussion.
And that's just a good common sense rule too.
Right,
So a lot of people are doing that anyway.
Most people are doing that anyway.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
All right. Well, let's get to the snapper now. That's been a bone of contention. Everybody does not know what to do. So the research. Just talk about the whole thing.
Well, Winston, a week or so ago, let me back up. One of the things that happened a couple of months ago is that the National Marine Fisheries or NOAA indicated that we would likely have a fall season. So they were waiting though for and it would be a limited fall season, but they were waiting for the data to come in under what's called MRIP, as the Marine Recreation Information Program, and we work with them to help collect that data. They take that data and they analyze. Okay, when they analyze the data, and it's a brand new program, they said that we essentially that too many fish had been caught, and so there was some discussion about what to do, and so that discussion is still taking place. It's unclear whether there were errors in the information portion of or in other words, collecting the data. If there's something different, they're now comparing the data to the old system to see if there are flaws in the system. But in the meantime, what our agency did at the meeting last week was to adopt a 21-day fall season, because a lot of people are going ahead and, a lot of businesses are booking for the fall since it was advertised, and the commissioners enacted or agreed to have a 21-day fall season. It'll start on October 1. Weather should be cooled down. People will be looking forward to that. Same size limit, same bag limit, 2 fish per person, 16-inch minimum. So that is state waters. We're just waiting right now to see what the feds, what NOAA is, if they're going to have come back and say if we can have a season in federal waters.
And I'm already looking forward to doing some of this and all, but the big thing is maybe next year they'll have the data process put together a little bit better, and that way they won't have this controversy as far as really people not know what to do. Here it is in middle of September. A lot of people, wanted to book in October. It was a couple of weeks away.
Right. And I picked up a magazine the other day, and I was showing it to one of our staff, and the magazine had a full-page ad from a business. They went out on a limb and purchased a full-page ad saying, please contact us to participate in the fall season. Now, this ad was purchased right after the announcement. So, anyway,
Well, when they gather the data, do they do it at a fish house, at a dock, or how do they just...
Winston,
that's a convoluted process.
Winston, I don't know exactly where all they obtain the data. I believe that I know some of it is point of entry where people come in with these fish. I think now part of the updated process is to call fishermen, call X number of fishermen. I believe is part of that. It is. I think there's some hiccups. And some fishermen aren't quite that generous, but I think there's some hiccups in the new system, and those bugs have got to be worked out, and I think everything will be okay. But right now we're just looking. I think people are looking forward to a fall season, ever how long it is.
And that's the bottom line. But I know, back in the summer when every time I went fishing, we caught red snapper, and I heard it over and over again. And I know they said we're about 3.2 million pounds over the allotted average that we normally would get. So,
well, no, it did, or the Gulf of Mexico Fisheries Management Council, which is the arm under NOAA, they did expand the quota for the Gulf. They increased it to over 11 million pounds, and of course that's split between recreational and commercial fishermen. But there are a lot of snapper. That's one thing you hear about from people is they're seeing a lot of snapper. People that are trying to grouper fish right now are the snapper all over the wrecks. And I'll tell you something else out there too is lionfish. There's just been a lionfish explosion in the Gulf of Mexico. It originally was on the Atlantic side, but they've come around, they've gotten into the Gulf. Of course, lionfish are not native to our waters, but they're all over our reefs now.
Our divers on diving show that we have, they just say they see them all over the place too.
Yep. They are.
And that's not good. All right, we're going to take our final break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to a final segment of Panhandle Outdoors here with Stan Kirkland. Let's take a look at our fishing game forecast brought to us by Mark Coward of Edgewater Beach Realty. Looking at our times today, two good times. This morning, we're looking at 6:20 to 8:20, and later on today, we're looking at 6:49 to 8:49. Some good times right there to take care of business and outdoors. Now, Stan, we were talking, but before we get back to Stan, I do want to mention the dates on Elizabeth Bardolph Memorial Tournament we always have each year. That's going to be October 12th. So go ahead and put it on your calendar. I've had some viewers already email me and ask me that date. So October 12th up there at Lynn Haven at Porter Park. That's Saturday. We'll talk more about it as time goes on. We just want to tell you ahead of time to go ahead and put it on your calendar because I want to see a lot of y'all out there. You were telling about a good bear story before it came on.
Well, you know, we always, you hear about bears everywhere, and number of calls is up, and, you know, no threats to people. We haven't had anybody hurt or injured around here, but yesterday they were loading went to, I think, get the kids in the school bus over to elementary school, and they had a bear got under a school bus.
Over in Walton County.
Yeah, Walton County, and and so they immediately, you know, everybody kind of gets concerned and all. But
can you imagine those elementary kids getting that excited? You know, they're excited anyway.
Yeah, they're ready to get out of there and get home, and all of a sudden their plans on leaving, and the teachers are stuck with them for another little while. But we had the Walton County deputies were on the scene. They came out, and then we had. It was apparently a sow bear, and I think it may be a bear that has had a cub or two. We had a cub killed over on 30A by a car a few weeks ago, and it could be from that same bear. I'm not sure, but we had 2 officers to go to the scene, and then neither one of them had a drug or chemical immobilization kit, so you can dart the bear. So we're having to get somebody else to come. And the last time I was involved in it yesterday was when we had Justin Davis, one of our biologists, headed over there with a drug immobilization kit because the bear was just hanging out under the bus and didn't want to come out. So anyway.
Well, they might want to go to school and try to learn something. You never know.
Smarter than the average bear. I know, that's terrible. I know, that's awful. Okay. All right.
What about a tarpon now? They had a new rule on tarpon.
Yeah. The commission also passed and clarified a couple of definitions. Said one, you can't snag tarpon, and the second thing they did was basically eliminated the rig and said and took action to eliminate the rig that is basically a weighted, a large weight that hangs underneath the hook for hook and tarpon, and it's designed to help anglers that want to use that method to snag tarpon. And the commission said, no, that's not a type of gear that we're going to use in the future. I did see yesterday that the head of the big tarpon tournament said they're going to try and get around the rule. So I hate to see that, but anyway, it's
that's turned into a mess down there.
It is.
I know. I got to fish at Port Aspen.
You've been down there when it's a zoo, isn't it?
Well, it was on a Monday.
Right.
And it was we had a wonderful time, and there were a lot of boats out there, but everybody got along so great and all, and I just hate to see it. It messed up as far as everybody just wanting to do their own thing.
How did y'all fish when you were there? Were you live bait fishing, or
we were not live bait? We were using those coon pops.
Yeah.
We were, and the captain I was with, he said he could do it either way, but you know that particular day we did it that way. So if I go back down there, we'll just live bait fish. And I'm sure we'll catch some, live bait.
Did y'all catch any fish the day you were there?
Oh yeah, I caught that 180 pounder.
Okay, that's right.
I caught a 140 pounder, 180 pounder.
Wow.
It was fun.
Yeah, a lot of sharks in that bay, and you're fishing at a time. One of our staff went down a few years ago, and they, while they were trying to bring a large tarpon to the boat, a bull shark attacked the tarpon, and he said, "Here you are leaning over the boat, and all of a sudden the shark, this bull shark comes up and takes a bite out of your fish, and you got your hands down there, and all of a sudden he said everybody's like, you know, and he
that
said,
sounds like a scene out of Jaws.
he said, you talk about silence. He said, you know, it took them all a minute to realize what had happened, and I said, no, not me. I don't want to fall over in that place, but no, interesting place. Also, Winston, I was going to mention there was a ladies fishing event this weekend at St. Andrews State Park. Our agency helped put that on in addition to the St. Andrews State Park. Well attended. The ladies, they got an introduction to inshore, offshore species, how to tie line, how to tie knots rather, what kind of reels to use for inshore versus offshore species, how to rig, and the ladies were so nice. A lot of these ladies have never fished before, so my part, and I went out and spoke, was just that, you know, you don't need a $40,000 rig. You can, there's places around here, if you want to go on a budget, that you can wade fish, just wear something, protect your feet, and you know, and carry a few simple tackle, you know, things like jigs, and if you want to learn how to catch your own bait or buy bait, you can do that. You can fish with plastics, but you know, we've got great fishing in our waters. We're very blessed in this area, and it's a, you know, it's a shame not to use it.
You know, what y'all are doing, the same thing I do with my class too, just the simple basic things right there, and tell them about some opportunities. I mean, right there at St. Andrews State Park. They can fish in the bay or in the Grand Lagoon or go across and fish in the beach.
One of the best places, and I'm going to give away somebody's secret, and I'll get somebody to call me and get mad, but one of the best places if you want to catch redfish is right there in the, I think they call it Lagoon Campground. It's inside St. Andrews State Park. You can actually camp there on the water, walk out, and there is several troughs that go off into 7 or 8 feet of water if you watch your tides. It's a great place to catch redfish. Do it right outside your tent or your camper.
Yeah, you can't beat that. A lot of local folks camp out.
I know.
We have some this weekend.
We've got 2 people I work with that are going out to camp here.
How about that? Well, Stan, thank you so much,
buddy.
buddy.
Thank you. Thank you, Winston.
Good information there. Folks, as always, we appreciate you watching Panhandle Outdoors. We ask you do something good for your neighbor today, and have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.